A very good afternoon and welcome along to this fourth instalment of the virtual MotoGP race. My name is Jack Appleyard, once again joined by my flatmate Jack Gorst. And I know a couple of you were commenting last time, talking about social distancing. Well, don't worry, we don't need to be 2 meters apart. We live together. He's my flatmate, so it's all good. It's all good.
Yep, thank you for introducing the show, Jack. And as you can see dotted around the screen, we do have some of the biggest names in motorcycle racing with us. We're, of course, going to have 9 laps for them lined up at the Misano World Circuit, Marco Simoncelli. And then after them, we do have the Moto E guys as well. We've got 10 of them, and they'll be doing 6 laps, just a little bit shorter because they are the Moto E bikes. I'll tell you what, Jack, I'm looking forward to seeing the Moto E guys. It's the first time that we've had them in a virtual race, so it'll be interesting to see how they get on.
Yes, so am I. That means over the past 2 weeks, we've brought you Moto 3, Moto 2, MotoGP, of course, and now Moto E as well. So we've given you absolutely everything over the past 2 weeks. As you'll be able to see, there's some new names here, some returning names, including Joan Mir back with us for the first time since the opening virtual MotoGP race in Mugello. And of course, we had to have, for his home circuit, Valentino Rossi with us at Misano. And Michele Pirro joins us again. And I'm sure a name that might make both Marc Marquez and Alex Marquez quiver in their boots a little bit. Taka Nakagami returns as well, back by popular demand, hoping not to take out the Marquez brothers time around. He's had his meeting with Repsol. He's had his meeting with HRC. We're all good. We're all good. So we're going to bring you the race. We're going to catch up with all of the guys in a few moments. Before that, though, let's take a look at some of the highlights from qualifying that took place earlier on today. Starting from the outside of the front row for this fourth virtual MotoGP race will be the Red Bull Ring race winner, Pecco Bagnaia, after he jumped up to third spot with only 30 seconds remaining in the session. Alex Marquez held on to second place in the middle of the front row with his final lap, but it wasn't good enough to topple the dominant Fabio Quartararo, the Frenchman picking up a third virtual MotoGP pole position, this time as dominant as anybody has been throughout all 4 races. With his final lap of the session already 0.6 clear, he managed to extend that to nearly a second ahead of second place Alex Marquez. Maverick Vinales, winner in Jerez, will start from 4th, joined on the second row by teammate Valentino Rossi and Marc Marquez, with the third row Taka Nakagami, Joan Mir and Tito Rabat, with 10th and 11th going away Lorenzo Savadori and Michele Pirro. So welcome back then. That's exactly how they're going to line up for this fourth instalment of the virtual MotoGP series. And for the third time of asking out of 4, Fabio Quartararo is on pole position once again, this time 0.6 of a second quicker than anybody else. We've had 3 different winners. Fabio is yet to be one of them. So is this finally going to be your time, Fabio?
13 laps, I think I crashed 12, so now it's 9 laps. I will try to crash less than 5, but yes, I play a little bit more than Jerez, so let's see if I have faith, so let's see if I can make a good race.
We can see you've done more practice than at Jerez, because on the global leaderboards, you're inside the top 10. So how much practice have you done?
Yeah, quite. Some hours, but yes, I got the help of Trastevere for the setup. So yes, I'm doing quite good. So let's see if I can make 9 laps without at least 2 crashes.
Well, that's going to be the difficult part for you. So far, 3 different winners, Jack. We've had Alex Marquez, Pecco Bagnaia, Maverick Vinales last time out. Let's see if Fabio can join them.
Yep, and another one that is going to try to stop that is going to be Alex Marquez. Alex is second on the grid. Now, you're going to be taking 2 things from what Fabio said there. 1, he's fast, and number 2, he's trying to limit to just 5 crashes in the race. So I reckon if he crashes 5 times, then you must be pretty chilled out about winning this one.
Well, yeah, crash also in Jerez 2 times. So yeah, in this game you lose a lot of time when you crash, but sometimes you cannot control that. It's difficult to find the limit because front always is closing. So yeah, Fabio is in another level at this moment, but Pecco and Vinales are there close to me. So will be again a good fight and enjoy. Enjoy is a game, and the most important is to have joy.
Those
Exactly.
guys have been the top three in all three of the races so far. Pecco Bagnaia will be on the outside of row number 1 of the grid. And Pecco, the good news for you is this time around it's 9 laps rather than 13. If it was 9 laps last time in Jerez, you would have won the race.
It's true, but anyway, I have to manage better the pressure. But in the last 2 times, I made mistakes the last 2 laps, so I try to don't make any mistakes, no crash, and let's see. Fabio at the moment is another level, but I think he has played a lot. But apart him, from 2nd to 6th, we are so close. So also 7.
Well, to try help with the pressure, it looks like, are you in a different room in your house this time? It's a different setup behind you. Whereabouts are you compared to last time?
I'm seated in the simulator. So.
Okay, so full focus in the simulator seat then. Hopefully that will help.
Yep, and lining up just behind Pecco, it is Maverick, of course, the man who finally got that first victory last time out. Maverick, maybe if you can get the second one, I think we'll maybe have to start crowning you the king of these virtual races.
We will see. Today is difficult. I didn't have enough time to practice this time. But anyway, we are very close. Only Fabio is a little bit away. We will see what here can happen. Everything. So we will try to push since the beginning, and we will see what can happen.
Yeah, let's see. In the middle of the second row of the grid is Valentino Rossi. Now, I promise we do have Valentino with it. Here he comes. Here you are. Valentino, welcome along to your home Grand Prix, middle of the second row of the grid. How are you feeling going into it?
I have some problem with the battery of the iPad. I try to fix. But for the rest, I feel quite good in my home Grand Prix Misano. And starting from the second row is not too bad. I'm close to the top guys.
Well, I'll let you shoot off then. Find the charger to make sure that the iPad doesn't run out during the race.
Yes, exactly, because I have 10%. 1 second.
Okay. Good luck. Let's hope that Valentino's iPad can stay with us throughout the whole race.
Mark, 6th on the grid. Now, we've seen in qualifying that you're pretty much always kind of there or thereabouts, but it's the race where you really kind of take it to the top guys. Last time you were battling with your brother, and I believe it was Maverick. There was a little freeway battle between you. Do you reckon hopefully this time you can try and beat Alex and Maverick?
Yeah, actually, I'm in my current level in the PlayStation. I mean, 5th, 6th. If you want to be with the top guys, you need to put more hours on the video game. But anyway, we will try to enjoy it one more time. Will be a good fun in the start. Will be a good fun during the race, and let's see how we can manage. Last races I finished 4th, so there is my place. So we will try to there.
On the podium this time, Mark, hopefully.
I don't think so, but anyway, we will try.
And the only bad thing for Mark is that he's got Taka Nakagami behind him. And if the last virtual race is anything to go by, that's not who you want to have behind you. Taka, are you going to try stay clear of both Mark and Alex this time around?
Of course. I think this time I don't try the kamikaze, so I try to... Well, I try to enjoy. I feel better than 19 games, so yeah, I try to don't crash so many times, and hopefully I enjoy. That's it.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll go well. Obviously on the new MotoGP video game, so it's great to have you with us. Joining him on the second row is another man new to the MotoGP video game, Joan Mir.
Yep, Johan is returning for the second time only for the virtual races. Johan, have you been able to practice while these guys have been racing, or have you just been sat back and watching it all?
Well, not enough. Happy to be here for the second time, but I need to practice a bit more. I'm closer, but not enough. We will see on the race because everything can happen. I think that the important thing is to don't crash, and we will try this. It's difficult, but we will try.
Certainly is. I think staying out of that turn 1 carnage is probably the hardest task in the whole race.
Obviously, Alex was inside the top 5 in the last Grand Prix, Johan. So is the target to try and beat your teammate as always?
Yeah, the teammate always is the goal. Is the one that you try to beat. But I think that we are not far away from the top 5 position. We will see. but there's for the next time I will practice a bit more.
One man that's putting in a lot of practice, so he tells me, is Tito Rabat. Tito, a lot of practice this time around, this time on the normal physics rather than the pro physics. So there's no excuses this time. It'll be a podium finish.
At difference of Viñales, Marc and Joan, I have time to practice, but every time I practice, I go more slow. Then the problem was the TV and the PlayStation, but maybe the problem is the brain. Maybe, I don't know.
maybe. Well,
anyway, it's nice to stay here and have some pressure now and try to make a good result in the race, and it's good.
You've gone for the same tactic as Pecco. I can see it's a different surrounding for you, a different room, and a different gamer tag as well. You've got Turbo on there as well. Is that your dog going to be supporting you?
Turbo is here. He's sleeping now.
Your biggest fan?
Hello. No, I changed because this morning the Wi-Fi doesn't work well, and I have to move to the entry of the house, and I make a improvised room here.
Okay, well let's see how it works for you. Let's hope it holds up for you. Thank you, Tito.
And Lorenzo, you are in 10th on the grid, I do believe. Now, it was, of course, the first time you joined us last time out for the Virtual Grand Prix of Spain. Do you reckon
Yes, in Spain. Here the level increase every time. I need more hour of practice, but I can try to do the maximum, and maybe I try to follow Tito and maybe John Mir, but I don't know.
Have you done a little bit more setup work this time, or is it just the same?
Yeah, no, better. I practice more, but every time when I change the setup, maybe improve, maybe are worse. Not every time increase the rhythm, but I need to practice more. But of course, it's better here, and the most important is try to don't make a mistake. It's very difficult,
of course.
We can try.
Well, good luck, Lorenzo.
And joining him on row 4 of the grid is Michele Pirro. Michele, welcome back once again. Your home round in Misano. How are you feeling going into it? Are you going to be the last man to break into the opening corner?
Yeah, it's okay. It's my second race, but I didn't finish a lap in the qualifying. Also because I don't have much experience with the game. But I will do my best in the race, and so I hope not crash out because it's a new game. It's difficult to break, and so I try my best, but I not promise not good, but I try my best.
I'm sure you will. Well, thank you very much to all of these guys, all 11 guys. Valentino, is the iPad plugged in? Can we start?
Yeah, okay.
Good stuff. The iPad's plugged in, so we are ready to go. 9 laps for the MotoGP, guys. So far, 3 different winners in Alex Marquez, Francesco Bagnaia and Maverick Viñales. But with Fabio Quartararo on pole position, can he finally convert it into a race win? I mean, we've got 4 winners from 4 different races. Let's find out.
Caramba.
Here we go then. Time for the 4th instalment of Virtual MotoGP races with Fabio Quartararo on pole position for a 3rd time. There he is, pumping himself up, getting himself into the zone ahead of this one. Hopefully, I'm sure for the Frenchman, that is, it was going to be 3rd time lucky. Can he get the jump that he wants from pole position? The lights go out in Misano and we are underway for the 4th Virtual MotoGP race. It's a good start from Alex Marquez. Meanwhile, Valentino Rossi gets sandwiched on the way to turn 1 and down goes Pecco Bagnaia and Maverick Viñales as well. That's 2 of the opening 3 race winners already out. Taka Nakagami's crashed out as well, and somehow Fabio Quartararo has emerged from the rubble in front.
Yeah, absolutely lightning start from Fabio. We see Rossi just cutting a little bit of the corner there, trying to make his way up to 3rd place, and he goes down with Alex Marquez. I think Alex stayed up there, but it's absolute nightmare from what was a good start for Rossi. Already down to 7th, in fact 8th now.
He's dropping down the leaderboard very quickly as Valentino Rossi. It was a good start, as you said, Jack. from the middle of the second row of the grid, but unfortunately all that good work has gone in the blink of an eye with that incident with Alex Marquez. There's Michele Pirro already gone down in what we've become accustomed to it now, a chaotic opening lap in these virtual races. But the big worry for everyone else, Jack, is the fact that Fabio Quartararo has hit the front and looks to be escaping, because he was absolutely lightning in qualifying. And, well, if he can continue that sort of pace in this one, no one's going to get near to him.
I mean, I think everyone sort of knew that this could happen. You know, we see Mark trying to go with him here, but he is running wide already, forcing him into mistakes. That is Maverick Vinales trying to go through Tito Rabat, not around him, just straight through him.
I'm not sure that's going to work. He's eventually somehow got it done, though. So Maverick, the winner, of course, last time out in Jerez, moves up another position. Oh, disaster for Pecco Bagnaia, victor at the Red Bull Ring, but down in 11th place at the moment is the Pramac Ducati man. It looks as though there's absolutely no chance of him making it 2 wins in this virtual MotoGP race series. Meanwhile, we're on board with Valentino Rossi trying to recover from that opening lap crash. He's chasing down the Suzuki of Joan Mir, who, of course, we welcome back to the virtual series after his first appearance in the opening race at Mugello. Here comes Rossi up the inside, but no way through there. Just for a second, thought he was going to let off the brakes and rush up the inside. Talking of rushing up the inside, Maverick Vinales way too hot into that opening sector, and down he goes, front end faults, and it's a second crash already for Maverick Vinales. It looks as though a second virtual win's out of the question for him as well.
Who was that down at the front there?
I think
Who was
must
that?
have been Lorenzo Savadori, the Aprilia rider. We weren't even mentioning him. He was up to 4th place.
That must have been a rocket start for him. I think he was 10th place on the grid, was he?
He was, all the way down in 10th place as Valentino Rossi finally makes his way past Joan Mir. A little bit of the Maverick Vinales in him as he nudges his way past. Meanwhile, a change in second place as Alex Marquez swoops through on Marc Marquez as if he was standing still.
I think that was a very deliberate change of position there. I feel like Marc knows he's not quite as fast as his brother, so he's gone and let Alex chase down the race leader, Fabio Quartararo.
Well, there we go. We've got the answer for it. He says, I prefer to be in 3rd place than crash trying to overtake you. So this is unlike Marc Marquez. When have we ever seen Marc Marquez give away a place just to have a comfortable podium?
I don't think we've ever even had that thought come into our minds, Jack, to be honest.
Who thought it that the virtual MotoGP races would have brought out a side to Marc Marquez that we've never seen before, just allowing his brother through, who now has the task of trying to chase down Fabio Quartararo ahead of him. A task, of course, which is certainly going to be easier said than done, because the Frenchman is away with it at the moment. There he is, the number 20. Picked up a 3rd pole position, and at the moment, I know we're only in the early stages. I was going to say, looks like he's cruising towards a victory, but he's gone down, he's took the front, and Fabio Quartararo has that race win flash before his eyes. Alex Marquez swoops through, says thank you very much indeed, and now hits the front.
Well, I can't quite believe what I've seen there. I mean, Fabio has been absolutely rapid this whole time. We saw him in the little free practice we had before qualifying, and then the qualifying itself. He was far quicker than the rest of them, absolutely by miles. So we'll have to see if he can catch up back to Alex Marquez. We know that Mark's now behind him. I think he actually questioned there why he was in front of him all of a sudden. Well, of course, Mark, that is because Fabio did the unexpected and he has crashed.
Yeah, look at that. We've got our 3 leaders there, all within a couple of seconds. Who's that's gone down? Joan Mir on the Suzuki. Tucks the front in the final sector here at Misano, but looks as though we've got quite the race in store, because there's 1st place. Across the line now, Alex Marquez, quickly followed by Fabio Quartararo in 2nd, and Marc Marquez just trying to hang on in 3rd place. There's Valentino Rossi in a bit of no man's land at the moment in 4th place. He's got 4 seconds in front of him and 4 seconds, nearly 5 seconds behind him now. So it looks as though he's got quite the task to be able to chase down a potential podium place. Meanwhile, we just had a quick flick on towards Maverick Vinales and Tito Rabat's fight for 7th place. A good run so far from Tito into his 3rd virtual race now, and is putting a good performance together for 7th place. Is the Reale of India Ducati man. Meanwhile, let's focus on the front, because this is the fight that we're obviously going to be focusing on as our cameras focus in on the screens of Alex Marquez and Fabio Quartararo. Total concentration from the pair of them as they come side by side here down the back straight. Alex Marquez just has the advantage. They ping off each other like a pinball machine, and suddenly there goes Quartararo trying to squeeze through, but no way, up the inside, and Alex Marquez will hang on. A Ball machine? Yeah, that's...
Yeah, definitely. I think that sounds about right. We saw a little wry smile on the face there of Fabio. I think he knows that it's just a matter of time until he's through on Alex Marquez.
Meanwhile, there's Marc Marquez talking once again. This time, just commenting on Fabio, who we just missed that. He just hearing in my ears, he said, guys, I'm much more nervous than in the race here. 12 months ago, and of course he had Marc Marquez stalking him for all, I don't know how many laps it was, but it was 100% of the race that Marc Marquez was stuck to his rear wheel.
Certainly enough laps to make him nervous anyway, that's for sure, Jack.
Meanwhile, Fabio saying he's more nervous here and he's in second place. He's doing the chasing at the moment. It's role reversal with a Marquez out front, this time in Alex, with Quartararo just a tenth of a second behind. Meanwhile, a change for 7th place because Maverick Vinales has got ahead of Tito Rabat in that fight for the lower positions in this virtual race for Misano. Back at the front, Alex Marquez still holding the advantage as once again we close in on the pair. Fabio Quartararo so close to touching the rear wheel there, but somehow the pair of them managed to avoid disaster.
It seems as though the last lap was just a rehearsal for this lap, and he's up the inside by the looks of it. Can he quite get the drive onto the straight? Doesn't look like it. That Honda's pretty quick out the turns.
That's exactly what happened 1 lap ago as well. Alex Marquez running quite the wide line there, just giving Fabio Quartararo the opportunity to try and show his front wheel up the inside, but no blinking just yet from Alex Marquez. He continues to hold the advantage over Fabio Quartararo. The laps ticking by here, Jack. We're on lap 5 of 9 already. Half race distance has been completed in what has been a fairly exciting race so far. Let's hope that the next 50% offers just as much drama.
And as you say, Jack, just as we are closing in on those laps, counting down towards the final one, it is the sort of time where those nerves do start to come up and we start to see a few little mistakes. So obviously we haven't seen Alex Marquez being hunted down at the front in any one of the 4 virtual races yet. So we'll just have to see how he handles the pressure.
Here's Lorenzo Savadori aboard the Aprilia. A good ride so far, apart from that line was a little bit suspect. Chasing down a top 5 finish here is Savadori, who, for a man that's only in his, he's in his 2nd race now.
Just 2nd race, Jack, yeah.
Doing a fantastic job.
He certainly is.
Making the most, or getting the absolute most out of that Aprilia at the moment. He's got two former race winners behind him in Maverick Vinales and Pecco Bagnaia. The pair of them not showing anywhere near the same form that we've seen in previous virtual races. Meanwhile, back at the front, and it's still Alex Marquez leading the way, but Fabio Quartararo, I didn't think it was possible for him to get any closer, but certainly is here. Here we go. Looks up the inside, but no way through. It's still Marquez leading the way here in Misano. This looks like we could have ourselves a last lap battle if these two continue to fight as they are doing.
Oh, it certainly does, Jack. And Alex is just starting to make a few little mistakes. We saw him run wide in 2 corners consecutively there. I think Fabio knows what's coming soon. It's going to be a dive down the inside, I reckon. He's gone wide again there. Oh, and they barge into each other going up to the straight.
Gets a wry smile out of Alex Marquez. But Fabio Quartararo, meanwhile, no emotion whatsoever on his face. He was even leaning backwards. I'm not sure what the tactic was there. You can see Alex Marquez has the typical game tactic. You might be able to see that his head goes left when the bike goes left. His head goes right, just as we're seeing there, as the bike goes right as well. Here he is, took it in, and Quartararo again touches the rear wheel of Alex Marquez. But the pair of them somehow stay on, and now they come together. Alex Marquez is down, and Fabio's down as well. I don't believe it. The 2 leaders have gone down, and it allows Marc Marquez to sweep through. Look at the excitement of Marc Marquez's face. He cannot believe it.
Absolute disbelief there on his face. He's completely shocked. He had no idea.
I'm sure we're going to get something out of Marc Marquez in a minute, because he won't be able to believe his luck.
Oh, he didn't even think he was going to get on the podium in this race, let alone win it.
And now he's leading. I cannot believe what's happening.
I'll tell you what though, look at that, back to serious now. He's realised what's happened here. Now he's got to put the fast laps in, make sure they stay behind him.
There's Alex talking to Fabio, asking for a race direction review at the end of this one. I'm not sure who was at fault there. It looked as though the pair of them came together. Alex just lost it. Fabio was on the grass, and the 50% of that, 50% of running into the bike caused them to go down.
I think we can mark it up as just a racing incident, that one, Jack.
Marc Marquez certainly will not care.
No.
One iota.
Not one bit.
Who'd have thought it? As he comes into the final corner here, we've got just 2 laps remaining of the Misano World Circuit Marco Simoncelli, and it's Marc Marquez who leads. He completely wrote off his chances before we got underway. He said he'd be delighted with the podium. Now he's staring victory in the face.
Well, there's certainly one man who knows how to lead a race and win races. Of course, is Marc Marquez. I don't know how many races he's won in the Premier Class, but I do know it's a fair few. So this situation, I don't think it'll faze him too much.
Just 2 laps remaining then. Here's Valentino Rossi. Of course, we've completely forgotten about him. The crash for both Alex and Fabio will have allowed him just to close in a little bit. He's only 1.8 seconds now, 2 seconds off of the rear wheel of Fabio Quartararo. As a pair of them, both Quartararo and Alex Marquez, will be absolutely throwing everything that they've got at trying to close in the race leader.
Now, Jack, I don't want to get you excited or anything here, but I have just been watching the gap between 3rd and 1st place, and it is coming down by quite a few tenths each sector. I'm just wondering, we've got like a lap and a quarter to go here. Is there any chance that Fabio could catch the 2 Marquez brothers out front?
Surely not. I mean, he has got the pace. Well, he has got the pace.
Certainly has got the pace.
I don't think it's a surely not. I think it's
possible.
Who knows? Here we go. We're going to be starting the last lap in just a couple of seconds' time. We're into the final sector here. This is the penultimate corner. Then going to be hard on the brakes here into the final corner where we've seen some race-winning overtakes over the years here in San Marino. And we've got the front three. Let me try and put my teeth in. The excitement's getting to me, separated by absolutely nothing.
Both gone wide as well.
Bit of a mistake from Alex as he's closing in bit by bit. Fabio's in the distance as well. The 3 of them are going to come together here as we get into the latter stages of the lap. Just 1 lap to go here, and it could be anybody, if Marc Marquez, Alex Marquez or Fabio Quartararo, that wins this 4th virtual MotoGP race. Marc Marquez leads the way. He's got less than a second advantage now over Alex Marquez, and that is coming down by the 10th every time I look at the screen. 0.7 of a second it was, now 0.6, now 0.5, now down to 0.4. Alex is closing in. He's going to get close enough for a move here, Jack.
Oh, I can't believe it. I'm getting excited just watching this. Unbelievable. Look at the 3 facial expressions there. Mark looks like he's on a little Sunday cruise, and the other 2 dead serious. Absolutely, this is all or nothing. Win it or bin it.
It certainly is, Jack, and it's going to be win it or bin it very, very shortly, because we're into the final sector at Misano here. There's a puff of dust there from Alex Marquez running wide. Is that going to compromise his run?
He's going to go for it.
3 right-handers. The 3 of them are coming together here. Someone's going to lunge up the inside, surely. Here comes Fabio. He took to the front, so Quartararo's out of it. He's going to come down to either Marc Marquez or Alex Marquez. Valentino Rossi swoops through, and he looks like he's going to steal a podium place. We're at the final corner.
He's gone wide.
And Marc goes wide. Here comes Alex Marquez. He's going to take it on the run to the line. And we have our first double virtual race winner in Alex Marquez. He steals it away from brother Marc Marquez at the final corner on the final lap. Valentino Rossi takes a podium finish at his home Grand Prix here in Misano, and it's commiserations for Fabio Quartararo, a 3rd pole position, but he still doesn't taste podium success. What a race!
Oh, what a race, unbelievable. It all fell apart for Fabio in the final few laps. Can't believe it. Valentino, look at him, he doesn't even know what to think of it. He's on the podium. It came out of nowhere for him. P3 for the doctor at his home Grand Prix.
Absolutely magnificent virtual MotoGP race. Who would have thought it? Alex Marquez diving up the inside of Marc Marquez after his brother, the 8-time world champion, made such an unusual mistake for him. Who would have thought it? That it would have been Marc Marquez making a mistake at the final corner on the final lap to throw away a victory. There's Fabio just saying, or trying to debrief exactly what happened. Let's have a quick listen in.
Pero Fabio, ¿cuándo me has pasado tú?
Empezar Mateo Stembla al peco.
Bien, porque tenías penalización, Mir. A lo mejor tenías
I
penalización.
think Mark just saying there something to Johan Mir about a penalty, possibly. Not too sure what that one was for.
Well, it looks as though nearly everybody's got a penalty there. It's only Alex Marquez and Fabio Quartararo that didn't pick up any sort of time penalty, but it's not affected the order whatsoever, with Johan Mir keeping hold of that top 5 finish. Maverick Vinales there in 6th. Pecco Bagnaia in 7th. Disappointment for both Vinales and Bagnaia. Taka Nakagami in 8th. Lorenzo Savadori in 9th. In 10th place, let's just wait for the screen to roll down. It was, of course, Tito Rabat with Michele Pirro there picking up 11th spot. Right, let's jump back into the lounge and speak with the guys. Well then guys, I'll jump in there. What an incredible race that was. Of the 4 races so far, I think that was by far the best one we've had. Going right down to the last lap on the last corner. Alex Marquez throwing a dive bomb up the inside of his brother. We're going to catch up with those guys shortly. First off, we'll catch up with the first man inside of the top 5, Joan Mir. Joan, you said that you wanted to match your teammate, Alex Rins, and that's exactly what you managed to do. Are you happy with a top 5 finish?
Yeah, the expectation were the top 5. At the end, to be closer to the top guys is I need to train a bit more. But yeah, I enjoyed a lot. I had a lot of fun, and I hope that the people also.
Thank you very much, Joe. And yeah, I'm sure everyone had a lot of fun there. One man that I don't think did have as much fun, you can see by his pose there, arms folded. He's not a very happy Fabio Quartararo.
Certainly not. Fabio, you're smiling now, but I imagine that shake of the head sums it all up. I think you threw it all away, didn't you? You were first, leading, and what happened?
Yeah, I made a stupid crash, but Alex crashed and I take his bike. I take so long. Alex was already 5 seconds far away, and at the end I give all in the last corner. But I wanted to give the podium to Vale for his home GP. So,
so considerate.
Thanks, Fabio.
You're welcome.
And as we just heard there, Jack, of course, Fabio gave that podium away to Vale. Not that he intentionally did it, but anyway, Vale on the podium.
Yeah, home podium, Valentino. How does that one feel to be stepping onto the box in Misano?
1 second, for the podium. Right.
Well, here we go. He's got the trophy and everything. Congratulations.
Yeah! I'm very happy for this podium because it's important result in my home Grand Prix, and I trained this week and I feel better with the 2020 game. So very happy for me, for my team, and for all the fun. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Valentino. Can you just describe what you saw in front of us? Did you see Mark, Alex, and Fabio all together? When did you start to think that I could pick up a podium?
Unfortunately, I did one mistake in the first lap. I did one crash, so I was a bit behind. But at the end, in the last 3 laps, I saw the top 3 guys, and I try to keep the good rhythm. And at the end, Fabio did a mistake on the last lap, and podium.
Hey, it wasn't a mistake. It wasn't a mistake. He ran wide on purpose to give you the
Okay. So thank you, Fabio. Thanks.
And another man that ran wide. It was pretty much a flawless race up until the last corner for Mark. But, you know, you can't be too displeased with second place. It is your best result. But I'm sure you wanted to win and especially beat your brother.
Yeah, of course. So far was my best race in the games in the MotoGP, and now I can retire from the game. I mean, but will be a big party tonight because you know, first and second in the family will be
too, yeah.
even for the team. But yeah, it was a very nice game. I mean, nice day, and yeah, I mean, I use my tactic. Is try to stay on the bike. This is the most important, and yeah, I stay on the bike. A shame that my brother beat me on the last corner, but we will have a nice discussion because I don't like to lose the race in the last corner. But anyway, if I need to lose with somebody, I prefer my brother.
Not so bad. Not so bad.
Your tactics on the last lap, Mark, you left a big gap on the inside. Do you think that when you watch the race back, you see the highlights, you think you could have held a more defensive line?
Yeah, the problem is that, you know, when I saw that Quartararo crash, then I relax because I say, okay, the podium is here. But if for some reason we crash on the last corner, then the podium gone. But in the last corner was my mistake because I pressed too much. Maybe I was nervous and I pressed too much the rear brake, the the bottom from the rear brake, and then I slide, and was like in the reality. I had the floating feeling, and I go wide. But anyway, in the end, it was a nice day for Repsol on the team.
And for the Marquez family as well, because Alex, you become the first man to win 2 virtual races. What an incredible race that was. Just try and talk us through what happened.
Yeah, quite happy. Well, so happy. I need to say today, because I was so nervous, because in the end, Pecco win one, Maverick another one, me another one, and we was equal. So I said, well, this one I need to win. But then I saw that Fabio was so fast today, was the fastest one, for sure, 1 second per lap. But when he did the mistake, I say, okay, maybe I can manage a little bit. Then we crash again. We touch and we crash both. Mark was in front, and then I saw it Mark in the last corner. I say, okay, I tried to brake so early, and then tried to attack in the acceleration. His mentality was opposite. Try to attack in the break point, like in the reality, Then the floating coming, and I say, okay, I need to accelerate good, and I won. So yeah.
But Alex, on the video game I accept. On the reality, will be different.
I know. But I can enjoy. No.
Of course, now you can enjoy it, and we will have a dinner together. But be careful.
Okay. I know.
Well, congratulations, Alex. And of course, now, coming into this race, both you, Pecco, and Maverick, in the virtual championship, were tied on 61 points. You're now leading it. You are our virtual championship leader. We don't have one, but I'm sure it helps to know that you're leading our virtual championship. So congratulations. But thank you to every single one of you, because I think we can say that was by far the best virtual race we've had by a considerable margin, going down to the last lap and the last corner. So guys, thank you for joining us. Let's have a look at some of the highlights from that hectic race, but don't go anywhere, because we've got Moto E coming up next. Time for 9 Moto E riders to fight for the first time in the virtual MotoGP series. Starting from the outside of the front row will be Eric Granado, after the Brazilian managed to jump up to 3rd place with his final lap of the session. Joining him on the second row will be Moto E rookie, but fairly experienced man in the form of Jordi Torres, the former Moto2 race winner and World Superbike competitor, was closing in on pole position on his final lap, but a small mistake in the final sector allowed pole position to go the way of the 2019 FIM Enel Moto2 World Cup winner Matteo Ferrari. The Italian on home soil picked up 2 wins here in 2019, and he's now in the best place possible to pick up a 3rd win, this time the first of 2020 in virtual form. Let's take a look at a full rundown of the grid then, with Ferrari, Torres and Granado your front row of the grid. Row number 2, Matteo Casadei, Dominic Agata and Lucas Tulovic. With the final row, Mike D'Amelio, Javier Simeon and Alejandro Medina. So welcome back to our apartment here in Barcelona for the second time of asking. The MotoGP race is done and dusted, and what a show it was. Great performance by all the MotoGP guys. It just means that the expectations for these Moto E riders is a little bit higher now, but it's a big warm welcome to all 9 of our Moto E riders that are joining us here. Welcome everybody, hope you're all well and you're all okay in lockdown. So we've seen how we're going to qualify then, and it is going to be the champion from last year, Matteo Ferrari, starting from pole position. So Matteo, well, you've picked up in 2020 where you left off in 2019 with pole position and race winning form. How are you feeling going into this first virtual MotoE race?
It's really exciting, this first virtual race, and I saw also the other races of MotoGP and last weekend Moto2 and Moto3. So it's really different, a lot of pressure, but I trained a lot and I hope to win also in the game.
And second on the grid, it's a rookie in the MotoE class. Actually, it seems strange to call Jordi Torres a rookie in any class. But anyway, Jordi, second on the grid, you must be pretty happy with your debut e-pole.
Yes, you see that maybe in here in eSport are better than in the reality, because yes, it's really funny, this video game, and it's very enjoyable, and also it's very real, you know, because the sound, also the riding style, you must release the brake early to be fast on the corner, and also catch very early the throttle, because you don't have too much power, but you need a lot of speed to do a great times, right? We'll see on the race. The other riders are very, very fast and pushing hard, and we'll see what happens on the race.
Well, it seems like you got it figured out pretty much, so I imagine you'll do quite well.
Yeah, it looks though the times are quite close as well. Not far behind him, but still on the front row of the grid is Eric Granado. Eric, how are you feeling? Now, obviously, Matteo says that he's watched some of the previous virtual races. Have you watched them, and what tips have you got from them?
Well, I'm okay. Yeah, the PlayStation is even not mine. I have like 1 week training. So if you see, the name is not my name. It's from a friend. And I'm trying to do my best. I'm very surprised to be on the front row. So let's see in the race what happened. You know, one lap is one thing, and during the race with the other riders touching is very different. So I hope I can stay on the bike and finish the race. And yeah, for sure, I watched the other races in MotoGP, Moto3, Moto2. And it was amazing. So good to see that MotoE is also here, and let's enjoy.
And headed up the second row in fourth position it's a bit of a home race of sorts for Mattia Casadei. Mattia, have you been able to put any practice laps in around Misano?
Yes, I'm training a lot at the PlayStation, and I hope to do a good race. It's my best e-pole in the 2019. I don't do a good e-pole, but in the play is good, and I'm
Well, if I remember rightly, Mattia, you raced pretty well here last year. I think it was the one podium you got last year as well.
Yes, it's my first podium in Misano, and I want to replicate here in the virtual game.
It's a circuit he likes. Domi Agata is going to be joining him on the second row. Domi, how do you feel going into this race? Is Misano a circuit you like? Have you adapted to the Moto e-bike on the PlayStation yet?
Yeah, it's of course a track I like, but yeah, it's quite strange to ride on the PlayStation. But it looks everything really real. So I play not so much, but it's a lot of fun to try to compete with good lap times. And yeah, I'm getting already a little bit nervous for the race, so we will see how it goes.
Just alongside him, it's Lucas Tulovic. Lucas, you're starting in sixth. That's not too bad. That's pretty good. Do you reckon maybe there's a chance of a podium?
For podium, I'm not sure, because the guys in the front, the first four guys, they are so fast, impressive. I think they trained a little bit more than they say, to be honest. And yeah, I let's see, when we watch the race from MotoGP, Moto2, Moto3, always in the first corners there are many crashes, so I think it will be crucial to don't crash in the first part of the race, and then do good lap times and see what happens. So, let's see.
Good luck.
I think he's got the script ready as Lucas
certainly
Tulovic.
has.
He knows exactly what's going to happen at turn number one. It always happens. At the head of row number 3 of the grid is Mike D'Amelio. Mike, we were just talking there about the crashes at turns 1 and 2 that are probably likely. Does that mean you're going to have to be one of the latest breakers, meaning that you're starting from row 3 of the grid?
Yeah, I try to don't crash, I think, in the first corner. I will try. I try to gain some place. It's quite hard, but I will try.
And how are you feeling coming into it? Are you confident that you might be able to challenge the front guys? Is the top 5 within reach?
37, I saw just 2 times yesterday night. I play until 1 on the night. Very hard. I need some friend of me give me his setup because I was 39, and yesterday I arrived to do 37, but not constant many times. But today the lap time is not coming. I hope in the race.
Well, another person that will be hoping for some good lap times in the race is Xavier Simeon. Xavier, do you reckon maybe if you could put some 37s, maybe some low ones, that you can also pull your way up with Mike DiMeglio there?
Yeah, like Mike, in the free practice, I did some 37 also, but today the lap time is not so good. But anyway, I will try not to crash in the race, and we will see at the end.
Perfect. Good luck to you.
It looks as though it's going to be a tight pack, and included in that, although we might have qualified 9th on the grid, he's certainly going to try go with them, is Alejandro Medina. Alex, you're a rookie in the Moto E class for 2020, so I'm sure you're excited to be a part of this virtual race. What are the expectations going into it?
Well, we'll see, because I think it's more difficult to play on the PlayStation than in the real life. So we'll see what happens.
Who do you think's the favourite?
For the virtual race?
Yes.
Well, I think Matteo Ferrari has done a really good lap, so maybe he will get the first position.
Well, there we go. The pressure's on the champion. Matteo Ferrari has been called out as the man to go and win. He starts from pole position. Let's see if anybody can topple the Moto E World Cup champion of 2019. Time for 6 laps for the Moto E, guys. So strap yourselves in. The final race of the day is coming your way now. So, 5 laps ahead of the Moto E, guys. Just got that slightly wrong there. I do apologise. 5 laps for the all-electric class. The last of the 4 classes that take part in our virtual series. Jack, once again, we're at Misano, this time on the MotoGP 19 game. So let's see how our 9 riders are going to get on.
Quickly before we start, prediction pick. Any idea?
I'm going to go for the World Cup winner from 2019, Matteo Ferrari, from pole position.
Sell out.
I know. Yeah. Very boring. Who are you going for?
Jordi Torres.
Jordi Torres?
Yeah, I think he'll do all right. Was he second? He is second. There we go.
On debut as well. Let's see if he can do it. Both of our picks, Ferrari and Torres, are joined on the front row by Granado. The red flag is out of the way. All eyes are on the lights, and we're underway just like that within a blink of an eye. And it's Matteo Ferrari that gets a good run down to the first corner. Jordi Torres stuck in behind him, and it's carnage once again. Whoa! Tommy Agata there. Someone's just got a Energica Corsa to the face.
Yeah, that would have
hurt. It would hurt. Yeah. These things are heavy as well.
They're big bikes. That's not going to tickle. That's going to absolutely kill.
Yeah, that might ache in the morning. I'm not sure who it was, the unfortunate recipient of an Energica Corsa machine straight to the face, but fingers crossed they've got up and carried on. It looks like they have carried on. Oh, there's your pick, Jordi Torres. He's gone down. He's at the back of the field. He was caught up in that opening crash at the first corner. Meanwhile, my pick, Jack, I don't like to brag, but he is leading the way. Eric Granado's there in second, and is that Alejandro Medina as well?
I believe so, yeah.
Up to 3rd place. What an opening half a lap for the Spaniard.
We haven't seen Alex Medina race Moto E yet, so this will be the first time we've ever seen him on track of sorts. So we'll have to see if he can mix it with the big boys.
So far, so good for Medina. Well, so far, so good it is as well for the number 11 of Matteo Ferrari, World Cup winner last time out, the inaugural winner of the FIMNL Moto E World Cup. He's looking pretty good at the moment. We're not even completed lap number 1 of 5, and he's already over a second clear of now. No, it's not Eric Granado there in second place, or is it?
Yes,
no, it is.
It is Eric Granado in second place there, Jack.
I was getting confused. I was looking at his gamer tag and saw Nico and thought it might have been Mr. Cassidy, who unfortunately is down in 5th place at the moment. He's the 658 Squadra Corsa man, as you rightly said beforehand, Jack. Picked up a podium here at Misano.
He certainly did. He was very impressive here last year, actually. That's Matteo Ferrari with the fastest lap of the race so far. Obviously, it is only the first lap that we've done, but we'll have to see if anyone else can catch him. At the moment, though, it looks pretty plain sailing for Matteo Ferrari.
There's Dominic Agata and Nicholas Tulovic talking to Lucas Tulovic, should I say, talking to each other. Meanwhile, here's the battle for 4th place. Is it Javier Simeon currently leading that one ahead?
Oh, a nice little cut back there.
But there goes Cassidy up the inside. He gives Javier Simeon a little bit of a nudge, and that knocks Simeon down. I don't think he was best pleased with that one.
Well, he's a man on a mission, is Mattia Cassidy at the minute. We'll have to see if he can catch up to 3rd place and maybe work his way up the order a little bit more and grab another podium here, Misano, as well.
There's Domi Agata just saying that he's behind somebody. Looks like he's behind Javier Simeon at the moment. Is usually the number 77 of Agata in this game. He's got the number 34 and just fancied a change. Why not?
Exactly, eh? Yeah. Oh, who's that flying around the outside?
That is Domi Agata.
That is Domi Agata.
No, it's not. So it's Jordi Torres. It's your pick. Or is it? No, it's not.
No, I think it was Domi Agata, wasn't it? It was. Yes, it was flying around the outside. As we see someone else flying through. There's Mattia Cassidy coming down to the final section of the track. Of course, it's pretty quick for these Moto E-bikes around here, and we have to be careful with the Moto E-bikes because, of course, there is quite a lot of torque and a lot of power coming from them, and we do have to be careful that they don't wear out their tyres too quick.
Otherwise, we could see quite a few high sides. Meanwhile, so far so good. We're focusing in on this battle for the final podium place. Just a bit of a glitch, and I thought that meant it was the front end folding Alex Medina. He did make a mistake and run slightly wide anyway. That's allowed Mattia Cassidy just to close in ever so slightly. Here he comes, the number 27 on the front of that machine is well in sights now. He just gives him a little bit of a kiss as they go through turns 1 and 2. Now into turn 3, flick right. They'll be hard on the brakes very shortly. A good overtaking opportunity here for Cassidy. Can he slip up the inside? No way through here. That's where he managed to pick off Javier Simeon just on the cross between turns 4 and 5. Again, Cassidy, he's going to find his way through this time around. I think he is. The pair of them coming together.
A little bit of a drag race all the way down to turn number 5 now. Let's see if he can get onto the brakes. These bikes, of course, they are pretty hard to get stopped.
Here comes Medina back up the inside. Is he going to run
wide? He's done it perfectly.
Well, he does run wide. Opportunity for Cassidy.
Oh, they come to contact again.
That's more of a snug than a kiss this time around. And so far, it looks as though Medina's been able to hang on. Meanwhile,
we did say about them rear tyres, didn't we, and high sides? That was always one.
There's Eric Granado, I think it was, getting properly sideways.
Quite surprised actually. He remained very relaxed and laid back there. I think if that was me at that particular moment, I would be jumping about and be a little bit more cautious at the next turn.
He might have just caught Domi Agata there, just asking for a little bit of help. He was asking to use the rear brake when braking, or not. Meanwhile, Cassidy's gone down. He just about snuck up the inside of Alejandro Medina, but in doing so, took the front and down he goes. And a possible second podium in 2 years at Misano looks to have gone from Mattia Cassidy just like that. Alejandro Medina, meanwhile, he's on course for a debut Moto E podium in his debut Moto E race. Not bad going for the
Certainly
Spaniard.
not too bad. Maybe I picked the wrong debutant in the Moto E class for a win, eh?
Yeah, he certainly did, because your pick, Jack, not to rub it in, he's down in 8th place.
Yeah, alright, that's the second time you've said that, Jack. We'll have less of that, please.
Meanwhile, my man out front still, Matteo Ferrari. We can't see the gaps at the moment, but given by, we were just on board with Eric Granado, and he was nowhere near Eric Granado.
Oh, who was that flying through shot? I think that might have been Domi Agata that just crashed out there. And also we saw Mike DiMeglio just picking himself back up there. That's a shame for him because he was closing in that 3rd place Alex Medina after Mattia Cassidy had gone down. So where's he rejoined? He's rejoined back in 6th place.
We might do less lap. It'll be more fun, for sure.
I think that was a little orchestrated battle again. Who was that? Was
Eric Granado. It was Eric Granado asking Matteo Ferrari at the front of the race to slow down so the pair of them could fight for the lead on the final lap. Meanwhile, there goes Memeglio up the inside and tucks the front in doing so. And someone else went down as well there. Both DiMeglio and I think it may well have been Lucas Tulovic that had a crash. Possibly even Domi Agata as well. Looks as though from 5th place downwards, it's absolute carnage. Everyone is slipping off every time we open our eyes. Meanwhile, back at the front, it's a little bit more calm. Here's Eric Granado, still chirping away at Matteo Ferrari.
He certainly is. This is the man that, of course, wants Matteo Ferrari to slow down so they can have a little last lap battle. Well,
it's not working so far. Ferrari has kept his head down.
A little bit more slow, then we can fight, please.
Now Tulovic is at it. Who's he asking? It must have been Mike D'Amelio ahead of him to slow down. They're all at it.
Yeah, of course.
Well, at least we got this battle closing in for third place. Of course, this is Mattia Cassidy recovering after a little crash from the last time he tried to go for third place. He's going to try hang it around the outside.
That's a brave move.
Oh, that is very brave, and I think he's going to just get a little nudge to tell him he's maybe being a little too brave.
Put onto the AstroTurf, put onto the grass by Alejandro Medina. It's all fair in love and war in these virtual races. Meanwhile, they're still at it. This is where I'm not. There we go. So Mattia Cassidy got a little bit of a nudge through turns 4 and 5 and thought, well, two can play at this game.
Exactly.
And gave one right back to Alejandro Medina, who then replies with one of his own straight into the rear wheel of Cassidy, and it's Medina that takes control in this fight for the final podium spot on the last lap here in Misano. Ferrari 8 seconds.
Oh, that's not going to work.
And there goes Medina. He's crashed out. He's out of it. The final podium place is going to go the way of 6:58. Squadra clause. Cassidy. What we were saying, Ferrari's going to wrap this up. He's 8 seconds clear. That's a huge crash. Can he hold on? It looks as though he's crashed with only a handful of corners remaining, and he's still going to romp home to pick up the victory. That just proves how dominant Ferrari has been. He can have a crash, he can go for a tea break, pick up a little sandwich, come back and still win the race. Here he comes on home soil. The Moto2 World Cup winner from 2019 starts life in 2020 just like he's used to. The race winning Moto2 going the way of Matteo Ferrari. Eric Granado takes second place despite trying his level best to have Matteo Ferrari slow down, and it's a second podium in 2 years for Mattia Cassidy as well. Hats off though to Alejandro Medina. He threw everything in that battle for third place. The same that he started from dead last on the grid.
He certainly did. He didn't learn his lesson, but we don't mind too much because he gave it everything twice. So we're saying, well,
sorry for cutting you off, Jack. We'll wrap up the final results. As we know, Matteo Ferrari taking the win ahead of Eric Granado and Mattia Cassidy. Fourth place, Alejandro Medina. Fifth down to ninth was Javier Simeon, Jordi Torres, Mike D'Amelio, Lucas Tulovic and Domi
In
Agnew.
that mode, than when you train on the PlayStation like normal, 37.1 or 37.0? Which setup did you use?
I think they're just asking how they got such quick lap times, to be fair. Maybe a few setup tweaks.
Javier Simeon was asking Matteo Ferrari for some setup help.
He was, yeah.
Yeah, but no, I'm 2 seconds earlier than normal. What happened?
The good setting.
I have
a good setting to Ferrari.
I have a new bike 2021, yeah.
That's the trick. He's got the 2021 bike. That always helps.
It certainly does, ahead of his competition every time.
And it helped him romp home. Right, let's jump back into lounge for the final time and speak with the gents. So we'll jump in there, guys. Another great race. This time the win going the way of Matteo Ferrari. A fairly dominant win in the end. He even had time to have one crash and it didn't bother him at all. He still ended light years ahead of anyone else. We'll speak to the race winner very shortly. The man we're going to speak to first, though, the unlucky man in fourth place, Alejandro Medina. Started from last on the grid, was up to third place and looked like it was going to take a podium before a crash on the final lap. Saw that podium finish slip away. Alex, how are you feeling after that? I'm sure you didn't even expect to be in the podium battle, but that crash must hurt.
I feel a bit better now. Yeah, because it was quite hard for me because I did play on the PlayStation. So yeah, I enjoyed the race and really being on the podium. But finally, fourth place is okay for me.
He'll take it, he'll take it.
Certainly will. And I think another man that will take the podium was Mattia Cassidy, after a little crash as well when he was trying to battle with Alejandro Medina. Mattia, you must be pretty pleased with that in the end.
Yes, I'm happy. I do a comeback with the same of the 2019. I pass Alejandro in the last lap and he crashed. But I'm happy to do a podium.
Congratulations on the podium, Mattia.
Just like in 2019, he was on the podium at Misano there, and he's on the podium in 2020 as well. Second place going the way of Eric Granado. Eric, what do you have to say to Matteo? You were asking him time and time again, slow down, let's have a fight, but he wouldn't do it.
Well, I would say congratulations. He was very fast and very consistent. To be honest, I was very careful to don't have a crash because I was on this day's training. I was not
able to do so many laps without crash. So I was very careful in the braking, and if you see my lap time, it's very, very slow compared to the qualifying. So yeah, finally the consistent was good, and finally second. So good to see the result, and if we have another opportunity in the future, I will train more.
If Matteo would have slowed up and you would have had the fight, do you think you could have won that? Do you think the only reason he didn't do it was scared you would have beaten him in the fight?
Well, if he can wait for me, for sure it would be difficult to win him. But finally, if he waits, maybe we'll see.
And Matteo, were you scared of the fight, or maybe just you fancied just winning it anyway?
But it's really strange to feel this question, because during a normal race you want to win always. So
Yeah.
it's really strange. I crashed during the last lap, and this is a very good race for me. Of course, on PlayStation, like said Eric, is very, very difficult to don't crash. So happy about the result, and I know that during the next races on PlayStation, the other riders train a lot, of course. So we will see.
You just have to do as much training as them, of course. Backing up your double win here last year with the win here today. Congratulations, Matteo.
And Matteo, of course, you're a racer. It doesn't matter if you're playing in real life, on virtual, if it's cards, table tennis. You always want to win, right?
Yeah, of course. And also this year we did only 3 days of test, so I want to ride a bike, and this is a good opportunity also on PlayStation. So for me, it's really important to win, like all the riders.
There we go. So that's why he didn't slow up, Eric. He wanted to make sure he was leading the virtual championship. You just have to be faster next time. Well, thank you very much to all of the Moto E guys for joining us. Put on a great show for us here at the Misano World Circuit. Marco Simoncelli. Hopefully all of you that joined us have enjoyed the MotoGP race earlier on as well. And remember, you can head over to Instagram, MotoGP's Instagram, in about 10-15 minutes time, where we'll be speaking to the race winner, Alex Marquez. We'll see you all there. Thank you very much for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Sure.